What happens when a man looks calm and smart on the outside, but hides something dark inside? On June 13th, 2025, after nearly 20 years on death row, Stephen Christopher Stanko was executed by lethal injection in South Carolina. He was 57 years old. The crimes he committed shocked the state, and the full story is one of lies, violence, and justice that took far too long. Stephen Stanko was born in 1968 at the U.S. Naval Base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Growing up, people said he was bright, polite, and well-spoken. But many also noticed something strange. He didn't seem to connect with people emotionally. He had a hard time building strong relationships, even with family or close friends. When he was 15, Stephen lost his younger brother in a house fire. The cause was never confirmed, but there were quiet rumors that it wasn't just an accident. That event seemed to change his family. His father, once involved and strict, pulled away emotionally. As Stephen got older, he did well in school and had high SAT scores. He dreamed of going to the Air Force Academy, but he didn't get in. After that, his life began to fall apart. He dropped out of college, started stealing, and got involved in fraud. In the early 1990s, he dated a woman named Liz. At first, he seemed kind and smart, but things turned dark. He lied, stole from neighbors, and one night tried to smother her while she slept. In 1996, he was arrested for assault and kidnapping. A jury found him guilty, and he went to prison for 10 years. While in prison, Stanko began changing his image. He co-wrote a book called Living in Prison and told people he wanted to help others understand life behind bars. He seemed educated and thoughtful. He told others he had changed. When he was released in 2004, he moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. At first, he stayed quiet. He told people he was working on another book. He spent a lot of time in public libraries and started making new friends. One of those people was Laura Ling, a kind and friendly librarian. They began dating, and soon he moved into the home she shared with her 15-year-old daughter, Christina. He also became friendly with Henry Turner, a 74-year-old retired man who visited the library often. But while Stanko looked calm and smart on the outside, something terrifying was building inside him. On the night of April 7th, 2005, things took a deadly turn. Stanko later said that he and Laura had an argument. He claimed she slapped him and burned him with a lit cigarette. He said everything went black after that. But what happened next was far worse than just losing control. He tied Laura up, beat her, and strangled her. Then, he went to Christina's room. He raped her, hit her, and slit her throat. Thinking she was dead, he stepped over her, took a shower, and packed a bag. But Christina wasn't dead. Bleeding and in pain, she managed to call 911. Her voice was weak, but she told the operator that her mother was dead. By the time police arrived, Laura was gone, and so was Stanko. He had stolen Laura's credit cards and jewelry, and drove to Henry Turner's house. He told Henry that his father had died, and asked if he could stay for a while. Henry, being kind, said yes. The next morning, the two men had breakfast together, eggs, toast, and coffee. Later, as Henry was shaving in the bathroom, Stanko quietly walked in. He put a pillow over a gun and shot him in the neck. When Henry didn't die right away, he shot him again, this time in the chest. Stanko then stole Henry's truck and his bank cards. He used the money to buy drinks at local bars in Columbia, South Carolina. He smiled, laughed, and blended in with strangers just hours after killing two people. Next, he drove to Augusta, Georgia. He met a woman and told her he owned restaurants and was in town for the Masters golf tournament. She believed him and let him stay at her house. But 4 days later, she saw his face in the newspaper. He was wanted for double murder. She called the police immediately. On April 12, 2005, U.S. Marshals arrested Stanko outside a bookstore. He didn't resist. He was calm, well-dressed, and polite. But behind that mask was a killer. Police searched his things and found stacks of articles about serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and Gary Ridgway. It was clear Stanko had studied them. Some believed he wanted to become one of them. At trial, His lawyers said he had brain problems. They brought in doctors who said he had damage in the part of the brain that controls behavior and emotions. But other doctors disagreed. They said he knew exactly what he was doing. In 2006, Stanko was found guilty of killing Laura Ling and attacking her daughter. He was sentenced to death and given 110 years for the assault and rape. In 2009, he went on trial again for killing Henry Turner. He was given a second death sentence. Over the next 15 years, Stanko and his legal team filed many appeals. They said he had brain trauma, mental illness, and that his trials were unfair. But the courts rejected every argument. In May 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court denied his final appeal. South Carolina set the execution date for June 13th. By law, death row inmates in South Carolina can choose how they want to die: lethal injection, electric chair, or firing squad. At first, Stanko considered the firing squad. He thought it would be quick and clean. But after reading a report about another execution that went badly, where the person didn't die right away, he changed his mind. He chose lethal injection instead. For his last meal, he was given $20 to order anything. He chose a hamburger and ice cream. On the evening of June 13th, 2025, Stephen Stanko was taken into the execution chamber at Broad River Correctional Institution. Outside, protesters held signs. Inside, it was quiet. He was strapped to the gurney, and a needle was placed in his arm. His lawyer read a short final statement. "I am truly sorry for the pain and loss that I caused. Sorry is never enough, but that does not mean it should not be said." As the sedative entered his body, he turned slightly toward the victims' families and moved his lips, possibly whispering something. Then he let out a few deep breaths and went still. At 6:34 p.m., he was declared dead. Stephen Christopher Stanko's story is a warning. He fooled many with his calm voice and sharp mind. But behind it was a man capable of great harm. So now we ask you, was it justice, or was it too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories, told with clarity and respect.